Hello guys, Susan here. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about all the skills that you need to know to become a front-end developer. Now, I know that lots of people that get started with coding try to start with front-end development because they hear that it's easy and it has a simpler learning curve and all of that good stuff. So yeah, I'm going to be talking about all the things that you absolutely should learn to be a front-end developer. Now, if you're new to this channel, thank you for visiting my channel. Thank you for clicking on this video. I talk about content that are related to tech, faith, and lifestyle. So you definitely want to subscribe to get some really good content. And if you are returning, thank you for coming back to my channel. Now let's get right into the video. So first of all, let's talk about how front-end development is pretty critical to any team. Now, the front-end developers are the guys that build the user interacting part of any web page, of any software. So the things that you can click on, the things that you can scroll through, the things that you can input your name and your email address and your password that hopefully nobody else knows. You know, all those good stuff are the things that the front-end developer does. Now, a lot of people are under the impression that front-end developers are the cool guys that, you know, build all the fancy stuff, while the back-end developers build the more, you know, rigorous stuff that people use, and they're like more geeky and stuff like that. I cannot confirm or deny all that, but I know that both roles are pretty complex, pretty important to any software team. Now, I'm going to go through all of the things that I think you should learn if you are starting out as a front-end developer. The first thing is learning how the internet works. Yes, I think this is important to know because you need to have an understanding of how computers connect together, like what's the process behind you entering facebook.com into your computer and seeing a page load up, the whole concept behind hosting, DNS, you know, things like that, host names, like the reason for all of that. From there, you have a big picture of what, you know, it means to have a web page, how what the user clicks connects to the server side, the back end, you know, how those work together, how you have computers speaking to one another basically to be able to produce something that you can use that is tangible to you. So yes, I think the first thing you should definitely do is learn how the web works, learn how the internet works. The next important thing that I think you should learn is something called HTML. HTML is an acronym for Hypertext Markup Language, and this is basically how you structure your page. This is where you learn to be able to add layout to your page, to be able to have paragraphs, have headings, have titles, have menus, have navigation bars on your page. So you need to learn this language to be able to know what tags to use for what. For example, you need things like UL for list on your page. You need things like a tag to be able to reference a link on your page. You need something like an image tag to be able to add an image to your page. All of those are things that you will be able to use by learning how, you know, learning HTML. Now, for example, a very important tag is a tag like script that helps you load the JavaScript file. So you need to, you know, when you use HTML, when you get conversant with HTML, you would know how, you know, these tags work and what tag to use for what functionality. I had to be dramatic about that because I'm about to talk about CSS. Now, the second thing I definitely think you should be learning is CSS. CSS is the way that you add styles to your page. So now you have been able to create this layout where everything is, you know, divided into sections, into headings, into, you know, with navigation and things like that. You need CSS to be able to add some color, add some fonts to your page. And yes, with CSS, you have great flexibility to how your page looks like. You're able to basically tweak your page to how visually appealing you want it to be to your user. Now, you might have heard people say CSS can be a pain in the butt and things like that. I refuse to swear on this channel. CSS can be very annoying, and yeah, it is true, because as simple as cute as it appears, you know, so as its functionality appears, it takes quite some level of effort to be able to implement it accurately and have it implemented in a way that it's sustainable long term, in a way that it's not hard to maintain. So yeah, CSS is a very important skill to learn as a front-end developer. Another thing with CSS is that you can have variables that represent styles. So that way, for example, if you want to change the button in your app that is the same everywhere, if you want to change the button for some reason from blue to red, I don't know why you would want to do that, but if you want to, you wouldn't go to every page and start changing it to red. With the variables, you will just change it in one place and it gets implemented everywhere else. So that's an amazing thing as well about CSS. So yeah, you should definitely learn CSS as to become a front-end developer. So now the third skill I think you should be learning, or the fourth, I believe. Yes, the fourth thing is JavaScript. JavaScript is the way that you add interactivity to your web page, is the way that you make your web page dynamic. So without JavaScript, you will just have a list of text, a list of pictures. You will just have like this page where you can't really interact, you can't do anything. You will just have the page like literally staring at you, just the way I'm staring at you right now. But yeah, with JavaScript, you're able to add some interaction, right? So the user is able to do things like inputting their names into the app. They're able to scroll through your page. They're able to, of course, with I believe with CSS you can achieve scrolling, but there's a ton of things that you can achieve with JavaScript that actually bring some interactivity or interaction to your app. When you learn JavaScript, you're going to learn things like storing information using variables, how to handle text with strings, how to manipulate strings, how to do things like substituting some items or substituting some parts of the string with other strings. You would also learn about conditionals, which is basically you determining what happens in your software based on some certain conditions. So this is mostly characterized with like if-else blocks, while blocks, switch case blocks. You also learn about obviously substituting characters in a string. You learn about arrays, which is another way to store data. You would also learn about functions and how to reuse them. You learn about the JavaScript object fetching data from the API. You learn about asynchronous JavaScript, which is used to basically handle other events when some events are running without waiting for those events to finish, right? So basically handle events all at the same time. Another thing you need to learn is JavaScript frameworks, and this is basically what most front-end developers that are hired these days are required. This is what's required. So typically you should either know how to program using Angular, Vue, or React. So you want to learn one of these to work as a front-end engineer. Another thing you want to learn about are component libraries, and there are different types for the different frameworks. For example, you have like Vuetify for Vue, you have like Angular Material for Angular, and there are quite a number for React as well. So you definitely want to learn one of these as well. The good thing about these libraries is that a lot of them already have like generators, or no, I shouldn't call them generators. Like they already have like code for things like button, for things like headers, or for things like navigation menus. So you don't have to code those components from scratch. You just need to use the components from these libraries. In addition, you will need to learn how to use package managers. The most common ones are NPM, I believe that's Node Package Manager, and Yarn. These are majorly used to manage like dependencies on your app. Besides all these, one important thing that you need to learn as a front-end developer is Git and GitHub. Git is basically kind of like a time machine for you to be able to go back in time and see your comments, see maybe a particular place that you made an error and take it out. You can revert your code back to that point in time, right, to have the code that was existing at that time. So it's a super powerful tool that I encourage you to learn as well. For GitHub, it's a place on the cloud where we store our projects, and the benefit of doing this is to be able to collaborate with other developers. So if I'm coding, I'm writing code on the home page and you're writing code on the about page, right, I can push that code and you can pull my work, see what I've done. You know, it really helps for collaboration as well, and make sure that people are like, there's no duplicating of work. People can see what everyone is working on, and it's like there's a lot of transparency. And yeah, these are some of the primary skills that I think you should learn to become a front-end developer, especially in 2023. I believe that with these skills, you can, interview to get a job as a front-end developer in most companies. And so yeah, just take time to look through these skills. There are some like phone screen questions that some companies ask, regarding like just phone screen questions that you don't have to like type up in your visuals in your terminal, right? That's some people would ask before actually doing interview questions that are specific to front end. And yeah, these are also front end questions as well. I could share them, but if you are interested to see, you know, some of those phone screen questions, you're interested in me going through a couple of them with you, please put that in the comments. I can, you know, create a video for that as well, so that helps you in preparing for your interviews. And I hope this video has been useful to you. If you're yet subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching this video again, and have a lovely day. Bye.